In this tutorial, we will look at how to use a for each loop with an array. So I'm first going to just write a quick for each loop, and we can look at the syntax. And I'm just going to print all the numbers in the array. And what we see is we're going to pull out an element. Each element will be copied into this variable, and we're running through the numbers array, and it's just going to print each element. So we see all the numbers in the order, in index order being printed. And I just want to contrast that with writing a traditional for loop. In a traditional for loop, you have to, let me get this right. You're going to use your loop variable as the index for the array. So here we have to state the name of the array, numbers, and then we use the loop variable with the square brackets to indicate which element. And since I will start at 0 and count up through all of the elements, through all the indexes, we'll get every element in the array. So just to clarify this, we're going to put a little line between each of the outputs so we can see them clearly. Now there are some limitations to the for each loop. For example, you're not able to set, you're not able to change any of the values. So let's try this. I'm going to use this for each loop, and I'm going to attempt to change all the numbers to 5. We see that the numbers don't change to 5. By the time we hit this loop, they're all the same. And the reason for this is that all we're getting is a copy of each element. So 4 is copied into number. And I'm not changing the original assignment. What I'm doing is I'm changing this copy. So the copy has no effect on the array. So it's very important. We consider a for each loop to be a read-only loop. Now let's look at an example of an array filled with objects. This class is called course, and it's got a name field, it has a constructor, and then it has getter and setter for the name field. Here's our main. I've created an array of courses, and I've inserted 3 course objects: algebra, geometry, and calculus. So let's write a for each loop that will go through each one and print its name. We'll call the getName function, and let's run this. So it should print out algebra, geometry, and calculus. Now I'm going to copy paste this and move it down here, and then I'm going to try to use this for each loop to change the array. So one way to try to change the array is to change the assignment of each object. So I'm going to change them all to trigonometry. And so this attempt is going to try to create 3 trigonometry course objects and then to assign it into the array. But what you'll see is this won't work. You can never change the assignment of the elements in the array. When we get down to here, we can see that it's printing the original values. So what we've done up here is course received a copy of the address for this course, but once we change course, it no longer has any effect on the array. But what we can do is we can mutate the objects that are already there. If we take the objects that's there and then mutate it by setting its name to something else, like trig, we can indeed mutate each of the objects in the array. So this illustrates a few uses for a for each loop with an array and its limitations.